Good evening and welcome to the West Weekly Report. I'm Ira Fleischer.
And I'm Pete Pryor.
And here's the news. Last Thursday night, the boys' varsity basketball team lost a tough battle to Eastern High School by the score of 49-47. The boys also lost a 5-pointer to Bishop Eustace last week. This brings their record to 5-3. The girls' basketball team picked up a couple wins last week against Eastern and Eustace. This brings their record to 5-2. The girls' next home game is Friday against Pensauken. How about wrapping up the sports, Pete?
The West Wrestling team dropped a tough match to a strong Camden Catholic team this past Saturday. However, Eddie Waters, Bill Atkins, and Dave Duffy recorded wins for the Lions. The wrestlers will be at home Thursday night against Hamilton High School and Saturday afternoon against Washington Township. The girls' swim team won its first this season, downing Cinnaminson this past Thursday. Contributing to the victory were Laura Ergood, Katie Kerbin, Allison Maish, Kelly DeZuti. And don't forget that this coming Monday evening, Channel B15 will broadcast live the Cherry Hill East West Boys and Girls Basketball Varsity game from West Jones Gym, beginning at 6 p.m.
Immediately following the boys' basketball game, there will be a sock hop in the cafeteria at 7:30. Students must have their ID, and the cost is $2.
Another great event coming up at West is the Battle of Bands this Friday at 7:30. You're not gonna want to miss this one. Come to the auditorium and see all your friends performing in their bands.
The senior class government has chosen its graduation announcements, which should be on sale one day only on February 7th in the cafeteria during all lunch periods. Remember, they'll only be on sale one day, so don't miss that date and get yours.
Hall of Fame nominations were held this Friday in senior homerooms. Seniors voted to the Hall of Fame will be announced at the annual Hall of Fame Assembly on February 1st.
Also, the sophomore class will be selling carnations for Valentine's Day. The sale will be beginning on January 19th during all lunch periods.
Tryouts for Nona Net were held last Thursday, Friday, and Monday. Over 110 people auditioned. Callbacks were posted on the 8th, and the play itself will be performed on the 22nd through the 24th, the 29th, and 30th. There are 10 major roles and a chorus. The directors are Mr. Joseph Delores and Miss Celeste McMenamin. It will be choreographed by Susie Zucker, and vocal direction will be given by Miss Osborne.
Last Friday night, something happened which hadn't been seen this whole winter. Snow. Friday night at around 10:30, the snow started falling. It wasn't much, just 2 inches or so. It was enough to cancel the Mummers Parade, but unfortunately for students, not enough was accumulated to cancel school. If there is a school closing, you can find out about it by turning into cable B15. But remember, next Tuesday, January 15th, the schools are closed for Martin Luther King Day.
Thank you for watching West Weekly News. Tune in next week at the same time on Channel B15. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to this January 9th edition of Eastcast. I'm Alexandra Dappolito with Lauren Ellis, here to bring you the news from Cherry Hill East. This Saturday evening, East's own Lisa Washington, Junior Miss of Camden County, will compete in the New Jersey Junior Miss Contest. The show begins at 8 p.m. We wish Lisa luck. Come to the pageant and show Lisa your own support. This year's musical will be Pippin, the long-running Broadway smash. The show has been double cast and features 75 talented actors, singers, and dancers. Mr. Robert D. Nation is directing, Mr. Thomas Weaver is the technical director, and Mrs. Barbara Hall is the choreographer. Pippin will be played by J.D. Weinroth and John Greenberg. Catherine will be portrayed by Tracy Wendell and Betsy Pratt. Fastrada is played by Jill Schulter and Melody Yellen. Joe Zelnick and Stephen Goldkrantz play King Charles, and Lewis is played by Evan Shapiro and Rex Carter. The cast begins rehearsals this week. Pippin is sure to be another East theatrical extravaganza. Watch for updates. East Advanced Dance and Orchesis members are working on their performances for January 19th. The numbers are all student choreographed under the supervision of Mrs. Barbara Hall and Mrs. Carol Gorman Swift. So save Saturday for an evening of dance at 8 p.m. in the auditorium.
The New Jersey Science League is starting its inter-school competition once again. Each school can send a 4-person team to compete in physics, chemistry 1 and 2, and first and second years of biology. Team members take a 15-minute test once a month for 4 months, and the school with the best average score wins. Members who have taken at least 3 tests get individual rankings. Competing in the Science League can help improve your test-taking ability and can prepare you for the achievements. Cherry Hill East has done well in the past. Out of over 200 schools, we have ranked from 8th to 14th. The January exam is to be held tomorrow, January 10th at Cinnaminson. Any student interested in being in the Honors English program next year should pick up an application from the English department. The application deadline is tomorrow, January 10th.
The mock trial team began its rehearsals again this Monday. The team will go into competition later in January against other South Jersey teams. Attorneys for this year's team are Alexander Dapolito and John Shipley, with Bruce Cohen as the alternate. In addition to the attorneys, there are 6 witnesses. The entire team is looking forward to a successful season. Advisor Mrs. Donna Jepson has worked with students to prepare them for this year's custody case, which also involves freedom of the press. Demogorgon, East's nationally acclaimed literary publication, has announced its final deadline. The last date for all art, photography, and literary submissions is January 16th. The submissions may be given to any editor, and drop-off envelopes are also located in F91 and C113. The editors and staff will go through all the materials and begin making some final decisions and layout plans. This year's magazine will have a very different form, which will be revealed in either May or June. The Bells of East are beginning their daily rehearsals again. The group is known for their perfect blend of vocals and bells. Performances are scheduled for Cadbury Nursing Home in late January and several full-length concerts at various churches. The highlight of the year for the girls will be playing at a wedding in April. Co-captains of this year's group are Maura Alexander and Betsy Pratt. The Chamber Singers will be performing at the Haddonfield Symphony on February 15th. See Mrs. Fletcher if you'd like to get tickets. The Chamber Group can also be seen on February 1st at Temple Emmanuel and on the 2nd at Pennsauken High School. The Business Department is very active with new course offerings and keeping updated with office practices. Kim Schlegel spoke with Department Chairman Mrs. Dorothy Cooper.
I'm here with Mrs. Cooper, the Business Department Chairman of Cherry Hill East. We would like to tell the community a little bit more about you. How long have you been teaching here at East, and what made you become a teacher rather than entering another occupation?
I've been teaching at East 19 years, and I guess ever since I've been a small girl, I've always wanted to enter teaching. I can remember my mother telling me when I would come home from school, I'd always react to what happened at school, and I think I've just been interested in people and wanting to work with them. That's why I've gone into teaching.
What are some of the responsibilities involved with being a department chairman?
Well, I think my primary responsibility is to see that the students at East get as best an education as they can in the business field. That, of course, entails things like budgeting, updating curriculum, updating textbooks, equipment, supplies, etc. There are many diverse responsibilities involved.
Other than being a department chairman, you are also a keyboarding and stenography teacher. Why did you choose those specific classes to teach?
About 2 years ago, when we decided to bring computers into the department, I was involved with some of my teachers in instituting the keyboarding course. And of course, I've always been interested in word processing and the computers, and I've decided I'd like to stay teaching that course. Steno, of course, has always been my first love.
Thank you, Mrs. Cooper. This has been Kim Schlegel for Newscast.
Any Cherry Hill East student wishing to co-anchor the B15 News should see Miss Beck for scheduling. The winter scheduling is being done at this time. East chapter of PABIS, the National Performing and Visual Arts Society, is beginning to make plans for its induction ceremony set for Monday, February 11th. Approximately 35 seniors will become members of this group, formed to recognize excellence in art, drama, dance, and creative writing. The ceremony will also involve several presentations of the members' works and creations. The induction theme will be Masquerade. This is the first year East has had a chapter of PABIS. The faculty organizer is Mr. Cook, the Fine Arts Department Chairman. A new kind of dance is coming to East in January. The Student Congress is sponsoring a computer matchup dance for all students. Before vacation, students filled out computer questionnaires about their interests and ideas. These questionnaires were sent to a computer who will find the perfect match for everyone. The dance should be lots of fun for those looking for that perfect date.
On the sports scene, the Cherry Hill East boys basketball team is doing well this season. They hosted a tournament beat a tough Overbrook team and yet lost to Woodrow Wilson last Thursday night and lost in the finals to St. John Newman. East's record is now 5-2. They presently rank 9th in South Jersey. There are about 20 more games before state playoffs, for which they need a 500 record to participate. Good luck to the team, and we hope to see you in the playoffs. We would like to welcome back Coach Valori, who has been out on a sick leave. Over the winter break, the girls' basketball team played in the Christmas tournament. On the 27th, they beat a tough Haddonfield team and then lost to Holy Cross on the 28th. The game planned for last Saturday against Deptford was canceled due to the absence of the referees. A night game against Highland is set for Friday, and a game against Lenape will be played on Saturday. We wish the girls luck. On January 14th, watch Channel B15 for girls and boys basketball live from Cherry Hill West. Some of the excitement this season will be provided by East's first male cheerleaders. Cheryl Platt spoke with Doug Scott, Howard Krein, Kurt Weichert, and Matt Harrison.
There's been a change. Here at East, we have male members on our varsity basketball cheerleading squad as well as female members. Joining me today are Howard Krein, Kurt Weichert, Matt Harrison, and Doug Scott. Howard, who had the idea to add male members to the squad, and did you have to go through any kind of tryouts?
No, there weren't no tryouts, and the idea came from Mr. Brennan, our vice principal, and our coach, Mr. Muzameki.
Kurt, what do you think are the advantages of having male cheerleaders on the squad?
Well, I think the main advantage would be definitely more gymnastics involved, and it's, adds more excitement to the cheerleading.
Matt, have you ever faced any image problems by being a cheerleader?
We get ragged on a little bit, but everyone knows you have to have guts to do this, what we're doing, and everyone wishes they could do what we are doing.
And Doug, do you think that this has turned out to be a good idea that will last as a school tradition?
I feel that this idea will last for a while, but I'm really not sure. This is the first year that anybody's been cheerleading in South Jersey, but I feel that the idea will stick on for a while.
Okay, thank you for joining us. This has been Cheryl Platt for Eastcast.
The East girls swim team is presently undefeated. The girls beat Shawnee, Haddonfield, Willingboro, and Lawrence teams. The girls won 113-58 over Lawrence. First place finishes were posted by Kathy Lynch, Sue Marion, Barbara Granito, Nancy Jilks, Felice Ginsburg, Nancy McLaughlin, Suzanne Karinsik, Laura Lynch, and Gretchen Martis. Congratulations to the boys swim team in their overwhelming victory over Highland last Thursday at Camden Community College. The team's hard work and long practices proved to be the key to another victory. First places were won by Sean Killian in the 100 back, Chris Kurtz in the 100 fly, and John Marion in the 100 breast.
The cold and light snow hasn't stopped the dedicated East runners. The winter track team ran Friday night against several South Jersey teams at Widener College. Jim Drodowski ran an outstanding race to place second in the 3,200-meter run with a time of 9 minutes, 57 seconds. Jeff Preem placed third in the shot put, Mike Kresloff and Kathy Jacobs took thirds in the 800-meter run, and Tara Matthews was third in the 3,200-meter run. Third was also taken by the distance medley relay team of Jim Williams, Gary Gordon, Paul Borghese, and Dan Carusi. Racquetball intramurals will begin on Monday, January 14th. Please see Mr. Shepard for details. The wrestling team has had a fine season so far. They came in second in their Christmas tournament, losing only to Lenape. The team has several dual meets ahead of them. Best of luck to all the wrestlers for a successful season.
The bowling team started the new year against Bishop Eustace last week. The boys won 4-0, increasing their first place record to 11-1. David Starr led the boys varsity team with a 208 game and a 560 series. Vince Romagali's 212 game and 522 series led the boys JV team, which is 10-2 for the year. The varsity girls bowlers lost 3-1 and relinquished first place to Bishop Eustace. Leslie Glick was the Cougars bowler with a 495 series. The JV girls team remained in first place with a perfect 12-0 record. This past Saturday, the JV girls met in Edison and finished in the top 10 Central Jersey Winter Bowling Classic. Kim Rodell was the Cougars' leading bowler. Kim Rodell and Kim Jones led the girls on Monday against Burlington Tech. The JV girls were led by Kim Gross. This was East's first Grand Slam of the year, as all four teams won 4-0 shutouts. The high game for the boys was 205 by Mike Milner. The high series was scored by Rick Stevenson. Glenn Pollen led the boys JV with a 471 series.
A reminder that the SAT verbal and math lessons, which usually follow Eastcast and the junior high news, will begin again in March. Advance notice that there will be a senior assembly on Wednesday, January 23rd during first period. The trip to Florida will be one of the topics.
Channel B15 has the current information about school closings and delayed openings. So in the case of inclement weather, don't forget to turn on B15. For Alex Dapolito, this is Lauren Ellis, thanking you for watching the January 9th Eastcast. Stay tuned for the West Winter Band concert following the junior high school news.
Good evening. This is Melissa Bernstein, and welcome to Brainerd News, first show of 1985. We've been back to school exactly a week now, and we hope everyone is back into the swing of things. And now, returning from her travels in Europe, I'd like to welcome Elise Rabinowitz to do the special days of January. But before, we'd like to ask her a few questions. Hi, Elise.
Hi.
What was your reason for going to Europe?
My father is on a sabbatical leave from his place of employment.
What does he do?
He teaches at Jefferson Medical College.
How long did you stay in Europe?
We stayed for 6 months. 2 months we were on vacation all over Europe, and 4 months we were in England.
Where did you travel while you were there?
Italy, Austria, Germany, France, Holland.
Did you go to school while you were there?
Yes.
What are the comparisons from the English schools to the American schools?
Well, in England, they have 15 subjects, but here they have only 5. And in England, they concentrate more on the arts and less on the academics. And here they concentrate more on the academics.
Thank you, Elise. And now, the special days of January.
Thank you, Melissa. It's great to be back. Yes, it's hard to believe, but it's January of 1985 already. Everyone knows what January 1st was, naturally. And on January 15th, it's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and school will be closed. Also in January, 7 states were admitted to the Union. They are Georgia, Alaska, Utah, New Mexico, Michigan, and Kansas. Finally, on January 23rd is National School Nurses Day. And that's January. Have a great month. Melissa?
Thank you, Elise. It's nice to have you back. And now here's Joe Malash for an update on our sports. Joe?
Thank you, Melissa. Well, Brainerd's basketball and wrestling teams really started out the year right. The 8th grade boys basketball team beat Collingswood 52-40, but they lost to Morgan Village in a scrimmage over the holidays. The 8th grade team also beat Haddon Township 46-25. The 7th grade team has won 2 games so far. They beat Collingswood 43-24 and Haddon Township 27-14. The 8th grade girls beat Heritage by 10 points. They beat Collingswood by a score of 23-18. And the 7th grade girls beat Collingswood 32-15. They also lost to Stratford yesterday 50-10. The wrestling team had 2 scrimmages, one to Paulsboro that they lost, and one when they beat Beck. That's about it for sports right now, Melissa.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And now here's Jessica Pfister with a special interview of one of Brainerd's teachers. Jessica?
Thank you, Melissa. Tonight I have with me one of Brainerd's reading teachers, Mr. McDonald. On the last day before winter vacation, which was Friday, December 21st, many of our students here at Brainerd presented a special holiday radio show. Now, we're not going to attempt to show you this play, which, by the way, was Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but more of how a radio show is produced. Well, rather than have me explain it to you, let's go to the expert, the producer and director, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Jessica. What we did basically was we used 2 classrooms. This was the broadcasting studio, and we had a partition dividing the rooms, and in the other room we had 5 different classes. This was put on 5 times. We had an audience, we had judges over there, and we had an old-time radio. So before the play started, I went over and told the audience that they had to use their imagination like they did years ago when not looking at a television, listening to the radio. And then we started out with a 1940 record of a commercial, which you wouldn't hear nowadays, doctors endorsing Camel cigarettes.
According to a recent nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Then we went into a skit of Abbott and Costello doing Who's On First.
You the manager? You know the guy's name? Well, I should. Who's on first, let's right? I mean, the fellow's name, who? The guy on first, who? The fellow on first base? Who is on first? Well, what are you asking me for? I'm telling you, who is on first? Well, go ahead and tell me. That's the man's name. But I'm telling you what is on second. I'm not asking you who's on second. Who is on first? That's what I want to find out.
And as that ended, each class took over from there. They used their own commercials, they put on the play, they used sound effects such as music, bells, the sound of wind for the ghost, doors opening and closing, money dropping, chains dragging across the floor. And the judges based their ratings on all of this.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug? Surely you don't mean that, Uncle.
Merry Christmas indeed. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What right have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
And working back and forth and looking at the audience, and I think it was very successful, Jessica. As it turned out, track 1 won the competition. They were very good. But it was a good day.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting, and thank you for joining us here.
My pleasure, Jessica.
Now back to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Jessica. That's it for Brainerd News tonight. We hope you enjoyed our show, and we'll see you next week. This is Melissa Bernstein. Good night.